Today, we'll be explaining all members of the mysterious D clan. There is a total of 10 insanely strong members, and we'll cover all of them, starting with Monkey D. Garp. Alright, the intro is ending. Please, stop the dramatic music. Alright, that's better. Monkey D. Garp is a father of Dragon and grandfather of Luffy. He was the one who initially trained Luffy as a child before he even embarked on his journey to become king of pirates. You could say that he had a pretty unorthodox training method, as he would frequently throw Luffy into valleys, leave him in dangerous forests, and even tie him to balloons over high altitudes. You know, at times, I'm not sure if he actually tried to train Luffy or just straight up kill him. Garp is loud, energetic, cheerful, and overall acts similar to Luffy. But don't let his childish personality fool you. He is without a doubt one of the strongest fighters in the entire One Piece series. Although he's almost 80 years old after the time skip, Garp still possesses an incredibly high amount of physical strength. He's able to throw iron cannonballs as if they were baseballs and both carry and throw a gigantic ball many times bigger than the Thousand Sunny. Garp also has a monstrous punching ability at his disposal, which led him to being called Garp the Fist. He's also known as the hero of the Marines and has quartered and fought Roger on multiple occasions, with both of them nearly killing each other. Furthermore, he proved how knowledgeable he is about combat as he trained both Luffy and Ace, both of whom became incredibly strong pirates. So you may be wondering why someone as powerful as Garp is only a vice admiral. Well, you see, he was actually offered to be promoted to admiral a bunch of times, but he refused every single one of them, since he didn't want to serve directly under celestial dragons. At the end of each character, we'll also compare his strength to other D-Clan members, and I can say with confidence that Garp is an easy. Anyway, let's continue the list with the legendary mysterious pirate, Rock D. xebec. Rock D. xebec was the captain of Rock's pirates and one of the most fearsome pirates in the history of the One Piece world. Although Rock's individual strength and abilities were never shown, he was well known for leading a crew of extremely dangerous pirates, indicating that he was an extremely powerful and charismatic individual and most likely the strongest person of his time. Many of his crew members would go on to make big names for themselves. Edward Newgate, Charlotte Linlin, and Kaido even became emperors of the New World. Xebec was considered to be the most formidable rival of the Pirate King, Goldie Roger, even more so than Whitebeard would come to be. He was so fearsome, it took both Roger and Monkey D. Garp working together to finally defeat him. Rock's defeat was also what caused Garp to become a legend and to be known as the hero of the Marines, showing just how much of a threat the world government considered Rock's to be. Kaido, who's known as the world's strongest creature, seems to put Xebec in the same elite class with a very small number of pirates, including the likes of Goldie Rogers and Shanks. Aside from raw strength, Rock seems to be a very intelligent and knowledgeable man, as he studied many different subjects and was able to unravel many of the world government's secrets. After he was defeated, the world government completely erased his name from history. These are only 2 of the 10 characters I'm covering today, and if you stick till the end, I'll share a fun fact about Goldie Roger that I guarantee you don't know. Number 8. Goldie Roger. Roger was famed as the man who did what no one thought possible. He conquered the Grand Line and amassed a vast fortune. Afterwards, knowing that he would soon die from an incurable disease, Roger disbanded his crew before turning himself in. The world government intended to have Roger publicly executed to discourage piracy. It didn't really go like that. Just as he was about to be executed, Roger told everyone that he hid everything he gathered at one place, and anyone who can find it can keep it. As such, Roger single-handedly started the golden age of piracy, as all pirates around the world started searching for his treasure. Roger had the highest recorded bounty in history, over 5,500,000,000 bellies, which puts him above all currently strongest pirates in the world. What's even more impressive is that Roger didn't even possess devil fruit abilities. He achieved everything using only his physical strength and haki. Roger had many rivals, one of whom was Whitebeard, the world's strongest man, who Roger battled many times without a clear winner. Other examples of Roger's strength include fighting on equal ground with Shiki, who commanded the largest pirate fleet of his time, and single-handedly defeating the armies of several countries. Roger was also one of the most skilled haki users, and he would often fight by imbuing his saber with haki. This allowed him to evenly clash against Whitebeard's haki-infused Murakoma-giri. Although the battle between him and Whitebeard ended in a tie, he managed to defeat Kozuki Oden, an insanely strong haki user, with a single attack. Furthermore, he could also utilize the advanced application of emitting Busoshoku haki out from his blade, allowing him to attack opponents without making physical contact. Number 7. Porcus D. Rouge. Porcus D. Rouge was Ace's mother and the lover of Roger. Very little is known of Rouge as a character, but she seemed to be very kind and a loving person. She also displayed the typical traits of those who carry the will of D, such as a strong will and smiling shortly before death. She held her pregnancy for 20 months through sheer willpower in order to deceive the world of Ace's connection to the Pirate King. When the child was finally born, Rouge held him in her arms and named him Gold Ace. However, as the results of dragging out her pregnancy for so long, she died immediately after giving birth. Since she sacrificed her life in order to save her child from the world government, Ace claimed that he owed her a debt and took Portgas as his surname. She's also the first and so far only known female to have the initial D appear in her name. Number 6. Jaguar D. Sol. Sol was a big and friendly giant who was somewhat shy and timid. At some point in his life, he became a Marine and eventually made it to the rank of Vice Admiral. It's said that he traveled in the Grand Line, although not much is known about his adventures. While he was loyal to the Marines, he questioned their orders multiple times, which shows that he followed moral justice over the code of absolute justice. In the end, it was this moral judgment that led him to betraying them, as Sol could not see why the Marines would need to slaughter an entire clan of mere archaeologists who had no fighting chance against them. Being a giant, he possessed almost unbeatable strength. He could easily lift a Buster Call ship up out of the water and slam it back down. His durability was immense as well, easily brushing off the explosions from direct cannonball hits. Even though he didn't possess devil fruit powers, he wasn't scared of the ones that did. He even stated that he was somewhat jealous of their incredible abilities. He died while protecting young Robin from the Buster Call that destroyed Ohata, being frozen to death by fellow Vice Admiral Kuzan. Only 5 more characters are left, and it only gets better from here, as the next D-Clan member is the biggest enemy of the world government, Monkey D. Dragon. Monkey D. Dragon, also known as the world's worst criminal, is the infamous supreme commander of the Revolutionary Army. Dragon is dedicated to dismantling the world government and its corrupt nobility system that allows nobles to oppress lower-class citizens as they please. He's usually very serious and calculated, always keeping an eye for what's happening in the world and educating his subordinates about relevant objects and events. While his individual combat abilities are mostly unknown, he's able to command extremely powerful army officials like Sabo and the 5 commanders, who have all been shown defeating notable pirates and marines in the Grand Line. Oda has also kept Dragon's bounty a secret for the entirety of the series, but it's pretty obvious that due to the threat he poses to the world government, his bounty will most likely be the highest, if not the highest in the show. Dragon was also able to effortlessly stop Smoker when he tried to kill Luffy. And what's even more interesting is that despite Dragon's great criminal status, Smoker didn't even try to apprehend him. This is possibly because he knew it would be pointless, as Dragon is way stronger than him. Additionally, Ivankov noted that Luffy's inhuman will to live made sense for a son of Dragon, indicating that he has a similar level of tenacity. While at the Goa Kingdom in Logtown, thunder and strong blasts of wind have occurred in close proximity to Dragon, which have helped him accomplish his objectives in both places. It's still unconfirmed if Dragon actually made these weather changes himself, but in my opinion, he definitely did. This would also mean that Dragon has some kind of devil fruit that allows him to control weather and create natural disasters. Number 4. Marshall D. Teach. While he was younger, Teach started out his pirate career as an apprentice of the Whitebeard Pirates and eventually became a member of the crew's 2nd Division. However, he defected after murdering Thatch, the 4th Division commander, in order to steal the Yummy Yummy no Mi. Prior to the 2-year time skip, he briefly held a position among the 7 Warlords of the Sea after defeating and handing Ace over to the Marines. However, after returning from Impel Down with level 6 prisoners and strengthening his crew, he resigned from his position. At some point in his life, Teach fought Shanks and gave him the scar on his left eye, with Shanks admitting that the injury did not occur because of carelessness. Their battle led Shanks to recognize Teach as an extremely dangerous menace. His actions resulted in him being considered a part of the worst generation, along with the 11 supernovas. During the Summit War, he murdered Whitebeard and stole his Gura Gura no Mi powers. He also defeated the Whitebeard pirates during the time skip and took the majority of their former territory. This resulted in him becoming one of the 4 emperors, with the island of Hachinosu acting as his base of operations. He has a bounty of 3,968,500,000 bellies, which is currently surpassed only by Shanks. Before we cover the man who will certainly bring a massive change to the world and completely change the course of history, we still have 2 more Ds to cover, and the next one is Law. Law was born in the country of Flevence in the North Blue. The residents of Flevence had a disease which significantly shortened their lifespan. Since the neighboring kingdoms believed that diseases were contagious, Law's country was in constant war with them. During this war, the extermination crew shot his parents and the hospital was burned while his little sister was still inside. Having lost everything, Law became omnicidal and wanted to destroy as much of the world as he could before dying. Because of this, while he was still young, he went to Doflamingo in order to join the future Warlord of the Sea's crew. Doflamingo accepted adopted him, and while part of the Don Quixote pirates, he learned marksmanship from Gladius, martial arts from Lao Ji, and swordsmanship from Diamante. Doflamingo hoped to eventually find a cure for Law and raise him into being his next right-hand man. During the time skip, Law's bounty increased to 440 million bellies before it was frozen due to his induction into the Seven Warlords of the Sea. However, after having his title revoked during the events of the Dressrosa arc, Law's bounty was reinstated and raised to 500 million bellies. Eventually, it would be raised to 3 billion bellies for his role in taking down Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, alongside Kid and Wano. Law ate the Ope Ope no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit which allows him to create a sphere of light blue aura inside which he can manipulate the fabric of space. He can manifest this aura over a very wide area, however he cannot move it once placed. He would instead have to dismiss the sphere and create a new one in a different location. Also, Law's powers directly take a toll on his stamina, which is very unusual for devil fruit powers. Law is one of the Straw Hats' most important ally, as he helped them many times and even saved Luffy's life at the end of the Marineford arc. Number 2. Portgas the Ace. Ace was the biological son of the Pirate King Goldie Roger and Portgas de Rouge, as well as sworn brother of Luffy and Sabo. Hunted by the world government for his lineage, Ace was eventually captured and sentenced to death. This resulted in the Summit War of Marineford, an all-out clash of powers. Whitebeard's forces against the Marines and 7 warlords. Okay, this all sounds interesting, but let's back it up a bit. How did it all start? Well, firstly, as a favor to Roger, Garp adopted Ace. Roger wanted to give him a life free of prejudice of being born from a family of pirates. Garp promised to make fine Marines out of Ace and Luffy, so you can imagine how furious he was when both brothers became pirates. Ace even became strong enough that at one point, he received an invitation to join the 7 Warlords of the Sea. However, he refused the offer, which led to his bounty being raised over 100 million bellies and attracted even more attention to him across the New World. Ace managed to defeat Doma, a notorious New World pirate, and his pirate crew all on his own, which is what got him recommended to his current post as Whitebeard's Pirates 2nd Division commander. His overall reputation and abilities had quickly earned him a bounty of 550 million bellies. When Blackbeard defeated and captured Ace, Teach was immediately granted the position as one of the 7 Warlords of the Sea, further showing how badly the government wanted Ace. Ace ate the Meta Meta no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allowed him to create, control, and transform his body into fire. He was able to unleash massive amounts of fire for large-scale damage, as well as utilize small precision attacks. His signature attack was transforming his fist into fire and sending it forward as it greatly increased in size, earning him the name Fire Fist Ace. It was even said that his attack had the power to annihilate entire cities. Despite his immense power, Ace was eventually killed during the Summit War while trying to save Luffy from Admiral Akainu. Don't worry guys, I didn't forget about the fun fact I promised. I'll tell you exactly what it is as soon as we cover the last character on the list, the Straw Hats captain, Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy was born in Fruscia Village to Monkey D. Dragon and an unknown woman. When Luffy was 6, Red Hair pirates stationed themselves in Fruscia Village. While they were there, their sniper Usopp frequently told Luffy that he had a son his age named Usopp, the same Usopp that would later join Luffy's crew and become his sniper. Luffy initially tried to join the Red Hair pirates, and after they'd been in the village for nearly a year, he stabbed himself under his left eye to prove he was tough enough to be a pirate. He has the scar even to this day. Luffy would accidentally eat the Gumma Gumma no Mi fruit and eventually embark on a journey to become king of pirates. One of Luffy's greatest qualities is that he can become insanely more powerful in an unthinkably short amount of time, to the amazement and disbelief of many previously defeated people who are renowned throughout the seas for their incredible strength and skill. Luffy's improvement can easily be observed in his battle with Don Quixote do Flamingo, whom he managed to defeat after furthering developing his gear techniques. He also took out a member of the Marines' Giant Squad with a single Gear 3 punch, and defeated the powerful giant Hadruden with a single Gear 2 punch to the face. Not long after he started his journey, he earned a bounty of 30 million bellies for defeating Buggy, Don Krieg, and Arlong. This bounty was later raised to 100 million bellies after he defeated one of the 7 warlords, Crocodile. His bounty was eventually updated to 3 billion bellies for various actions, like declaring war against the world government, participating in Summit War, defeating Big Mom's sweet commanders, and becoming an emperor of the New World. During the raid on Onigashima, Luffy's recently heightened mastery of advanced Busoshoku and Haoshoku Haki allowed him to fight on par with Kaido. Although he was losing the battle, after awakening his Devil Fruit, or as he calls it, Gear 5, he managed to finally defeat one of the strongest pirates in the world. The true name of Luffy's fruit is Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, a mythical Zoan-type devil fruit that allows its user to transform into the sun god Nika. This fruit is possibly the most dangerous devil fruit in the entire series, as the world government did everything in its power to acquire it, and even after 800 years of trying, they were unable to find it. Afterwards, they renamed it to Gomu Gomu fruit in order to hide its true power. While using this fruit, Luffy's power is seemingly only limited by his imagination, and he can, in theory, do anything he wants as long as he can imagine it. This power is also referred to as the most ridiculous power in the world. Alright, finally it's time to share a fun fact that I was talking about. You see, on one occasion, Relay said that Roger liked to do everything in a flashy way. And this is exactly why Buggy uses the word flashy all the time and tries to do everything in the flashiest way possible. He's just trying to be more like his former captain.